Top 5 Best Adventure Movies of All Time based on a true story. Into the Wild. This is a true story of a man who hiked across North America into the Alaskan wilderness in the early 1990s. In April 1992, Chris McCandless arrived in a remote area called Healy, north of Denali National Park and Preserve in Alaska. Noting McCandless' unpreparedness, the man who drops him off gave him gumboots. So, McCandless sets up camp in an abandoned city bus that he calls the Magic Bus. He is content and satisfied with the isolation, the beauty of nature, and the thrill of living off the land. He hunts with a .22, read books, and kept a journal as he prepares his new life in the wild. 27 hours. In this film, canyoneer Aaron Ralston must find a way to escape after he gets trapped by a boulder in an isolated slot canyon in Blue John Canyon, southeastern Utah in April 2003. The film's title refers to the period of non-stop activity from when Ralston was stranded in Blue John Canyon once his arm was trapped underneath a boulder to when he was rescued. He abandoned many of the items he had kept throughout his confinement. He got lost in a side canyon, and he met a family from the Netherlands, not an American family, Eric, Monique, and Andy Mayer, who already knew that he was probably lost in the area. Thanks to the searches of his parents and the authorities, Ralston did send Monique and Andy to run ahead to get help, and Ralston did walk 7 miles before the helicopter came, although this trek is shown in the film's alternative ending. Everest. It is based on the real events of the 1996 Mount Everest disaster and focuses on the survival attempts of 2 expedition groups, one led by Rob Hall and the other by Scott Fisher. The 1996 Mount Everest disaster occurred on 10 to 11 May 1996 when 8 climbers caught in a blizzard died on Mount Everest while attempting to descend from the summit. Numerous climbers were at a high altitude on Everest during the storm, including the Adventure Consultants team led by Rob Hall and the Mountain Madness team led by Scott Fisher. While climbers died on both the North Face and South Col approaches, the events on the latter were more widely reported. 4 members of the Adventure Consultants expedition died, including Hall, while Fisher was the sole casualty of the Mountain Madness expedition. 3 officers of the Indo-Tibetan Border Police also died. Alive, which details a Uruguayan rugby team's crash aboard Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571 into the Andes Mountains on October 13, 1972. The crash site is located at an elevation of 3,660 meters in the remote Andes Mountains of western Argentina, just east of the border with Chile. Search and rescue aircraft overflew the crash site several times during the following days, but failed to see the white fuselage against the snow. Search efforts were called off after 8 days of searching. Now listen to this very closely. During the 72 days following the crash, the survivors suffered from extreme hardships, including sub-zero temperatures, exposure, starvation, and an avalanche, which led to the deaths of 13 more passengers. The remaining passengers resorted to eating the flesh of those who died in order to survive. Convinced they would die if they did not seek help, 2 survivors, Nando Parrado and Roberto Canessa, set out across the mountains on 12 December. Using only materials which they found in the aircraft wreck, they climbed 839 meters from the crash site, up 30 to 60 degree slopes to a 4,503 meter ridge to the west of the summit of Mount Seller. From there, they trekked 53.9 kilometers for 10 days into Chile before finding help. On 22nd and 23rd December 1972, 2.5 months after the crash, the remaining 14 survivors were rescued. Their survival made worldwide news. Purna. The film stars Aditi Inamdar as Malavat Purna, the youngest girl to climb Mount Everest. Purna Malavat belongs to a Telugu-speaking tribal family in Pakala, Nizamabad district in Telangana. Her parents, Mother Lakshmi and Father Devidas, are farm laborers. Her talent is spotted by the honest secretary of the society, Dr. R.S. Praveen Kumar. The Chief Minister, N. Kiran Kumar Reddy, authorizes her to go for Operation Everest along with a Dalit mountaineer, Sandhanapalli Anand Kumar. In preparation for climbing Mount Everest, headed by coach Shekhar Babu and Colonel Khan, she treks to the mountains of Ladakh and Darjeeling. On 25th May 2014, Poorna scales the highest peak of Mount Everest and, aged 13 years and 11 months, becomes the youngest girl in the world to have reached the summit of Everest. So, these are some of the best adventure movies of all time. There are lots and lots of other adventure movies as well based on true stories. I will be talking about them in the future videos. And comment what are your thoughts about these movies, and have you seen any of the movies which I talked about in this video, and what upcoming videos you want to see in my channel. Yes, you can comment on the comment section. So yeah, these are some of the movies I talked about, and I've seen all the movies which I've talked about in this video, and I truly love them. I strongly recommend you to see all the movies which I talked about in this video, and I'm sure that you will find a lot of inspiration, and especially Poorna जो के एक इंडियन है, उस बच्ची ने she has the world record of climbing Mount Everest at a very young age. She's the youngest, in fact, to climb Mount Everest at that age, 13 years and 11 months. There's a lot of things to learn from her. Please like, share, comment and subscribe to my YouTube channel Syed Sufiyan so that my channel can grow. So I will see you in the upcoming videos, and stay safe, take care and goodbye.